Prime Minister promised that those who were responsible for the barbarism at Pulwama will be punished. That process started in right earnest today when the man on your screen right now, Jaish-e-Mohammed commander, the man who trained the local Kashmiri boy on how to use IED devices, was killed in an encounter with security forces just 14 kilometers away from the original encounter site.
The fierce firefight that started a little after midnight continues behind me in this village in Pulwama in South Kashmir. 2 terrorists are now confirmed killed, but a 3rd terrorist is still holding the security forces. Now they're moving with extreme caution. Village has been evacuated, locals have been asked to leave, but at this point of time, what is confirmed is one Pakistani terrorist, Kamran, has been killed. Now he's that alleged terrorist who had reportedly helped put together the improvised explosive device that was used to kill the CRPF personnel, 40 plus CRPF personnel. The firing continues non-stop. This entire area has now been sealed off. In the initial firefight, and that shows the kind of weapons that the terrorists have, when the young army major went in for the operation, the terrorists hurled grenades. Now there was room-to-room intervention that was taking place, and to ensure there are no civilian casualties, the soldiers proceeded with extreme caution. But the terrorists, with scant regard to the lives and safety of civilians, they targeted the army personnel, and that's where the brave major made the supreme sacrifice of his life, saving some of his comrades who were caught in the crossfire. Of course, the terrorists also have sniper rifles here, is what sources in the security forces tell India Today. So in that house, where you see flashes of firing still on, that's the house where a terrorist is still holed up, engaging the security forces. But just across there, you see a mob has assembled, and that mob is trying to pelt stones to divert the attention of the security forces to ensure that the terrorist is able to escape, but clearly not. The Jammu and Kashmir police and the CRPF, they are holding that cordon. They're pushing these stone pelters back while the army is carrying out the operation. In this area of South Kashmir, in Pulwama, which is considered a stronghold of that Pakistani terrorist organization Jaish-e-Mohammed, in this district there are about 15 foreign terrorists and about 15 to 20 local terrorists owing their allegiance to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and that cleanup operation is only just beginning. With cameraman Rauf in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
This is a major success for the security forces because this was the Afghan IED expert who was sent by Maulana Masood Azhar to train up local boys in the use of IEDs. Gaurav Sawant, our strategic affairs editor, now joins us. Gaurav, a significant success this, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. Give our viewers all the details that you have about the encounter which got over just a short while ago.
Rahul, a very fierce encounter in very difficult circumstances. Temperatures below 0 degrees, a very hostile environment, and this is where the young army major along with his boys went in for room-to-room intervention operation. Now, initial information was about 2 to 3 terrorists, then the information was perhaps a couple more, and ultimately the army had to actually bring down the house from where the terrorists were firing. Initially they wanted to save the house, bring down the terrorists. Some reports seem to indicate that an effort was also made to catch one of these terrorists alive. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. But by late evening, another lieutenant colonel had been injured. The sector commander, this Rashtra Rifle sector commander, one brigadier has been injured. The deputy inspector general of police of this area has been injured, both shot in the leg. And that is because this terrorist was hiding in the rubble of that building that had been brought down, and from there he fired before he was finally neutralized. So this goes to show goes on to show the kind of indoctrination and the level of professionalism of the Pakistani terrorists. that they're willing to fight till the very end. As far as local terrorists are concerned, well, some are now being brought overground. A lot of work is also happening on them, Rahul, to bring them overground, use them to go after the other terrorists. But then 25, 30 odd terrorists in this area, it will be some time before they are all neutralized, Rahul.
Thank you very much, Gaurav Sawant, for joining us. I want to go across to Kuldeep Khoda. He's a former Director General of Police for Jammu and Kashmir. Nirupama Rao joins us as well, highly respected former Foreign Secretary. Ma'am, we're seeing Pakistan reach out through Shah Mahmood Qureshi and the like, say, give us evidence, you know, show us what proof you have about Pulwama, and then we will look into it. Do you believe that the diplomatic corps needs to give this kind of dossier to Pakistan, that there is still scope for putting diplomatic pressure, or do you believe that's really not going to achieve very much, ma'am?
Well, first of all, Rahul, let me say that everybody, all of us Indians, should be united behind our security forces as they seek to tackle this very real and clear and present threat from terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. I think we should all be united on this. Having said that, and in response to your question about the Pakistani establishment asking for dossiers and real evidence, this is the same broken record that they keep playing over and over again. There's no dearth of evidence that has been provided to Pakistan about the role of terror groups operating with impunity and state support from Pakistani soil directed against India and directed against our people in Jammu and Kashmir. So this is something, I mean, how can you take this request seriously from Pakistan when they haven't done even the slightest thing over the last so many years, a decade and more, to listen to what India is saying and to respond meaningfully to our concerns?
So how do you believe we should move in this diplomatic offensive against Pakistan next? There is the meeting, there is the hearing at the International Court of Justice, the meeting of the Financial Action Task Force. India also proactively reaching out to other other capitals which haven't yet put out statements in India's favor and against Pakistan. How do you believe this diplomatic battle needs to be taken to the next level, ma'am?
I think the battle needs to be continuously fought. There can be no let up on the efforts we make as far as diplomacy is concerned internationally to and get endorsement for what we are saying, our position about the role of Pakistan, and to diplomatically isolate Pakistan. Let us also understand that over the years, it's not as if Pakistan's position has improved in any way. As a matter of fact, it has in many senses diminished on the global scene. And economically, as you know, Pakistan is in a very difficult state. And similarly, in terms of its growth over the last 10, 12 years compared with India, we have left Pakistan far behind. So let us not forget that. Internationally, I think we must work with our partners, with countries with which we have deep and ongoing partnerships and friendship, the United States particularly, to see how we can consolidate the international opinion against Pakistan. But there is the other dragon in the room, China, and I think we must today look at the menu of options that we have vis-a-vis China. I'm not talking of
options against China,
as you are, whipping it up across the public space. It's about China I'm talking. And we need conscious policy options to be developed vis-a-vis China.
No, what are our policy options vis-a-vis China?
At all been responsive vis-a-vis our concerns. Well, this is something that has to be discussed across the government ministries. It has to be considered at the highest level. What are we going to do about our engagement with China? Obviously, you can't jettison everything that we have developed over the years, but how are we to get our message home to China more effectively? It hasn't worked so far. China has not yielded. The relationship with China has held fast to that relationship. It refuses to let go. It refuses to address our concerns. Somehow, we as an emerging power, a global power, a power in the region, must be able to signal more effectively to China what our concerns are.
How significant is the statement coming from John Bolton, the American National Security Advisor, who defended India's right to self-defense? Have you seen a stronger statement in your time as Foreign Secretary or in your time in the Ministry of External Affairs from Washington, D.C., supporting India's right to self-defense?
It's a very strong statement, no doubt, and it essentially what it is telling us is that, you know, you have to do what is right for you. But is the international community supporting the call for revenge against Pakistan? Is that a strategic objective? That is the question we should ask ourselves. Because whatever steps we take vis-a-vis Pakistan, whatever the scale of escalation should be, it should be very, very graduated and extremely deliberate and well thought out.
Okay, we'll leave it over there. Nirupama Rao, for joining us in India today. Thank you very much. It's very interesting to hear those very candid, forthright views from the former Foreign Secretary, one of the most respected voices in foreign affairs.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.